Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another monthly update. How my World Series of Board Gaming prep is going. You can go and check out our previous videos. We've been doing this, I think, every month this year, something like that. So we're only about 80 days out now, which is crazy to think that it's been that quick.
Yeah.
Because I was just like thinking, like, oh, we got about 100, a little over 100 days, and now it's already down to 80, so it's coming up pretty quick. We'll have to see if I've done any better. If you've been keeping track, I don't know how many games I'd played in total, so I've been kind of we've been keeping track of all, and we'll get to it. But I think this month was a lot better in number of plays total.
I think a
I
little
tried
bit
to, I
better.
tried to, I tried to get a little more variety of games because we had several that I still had not played. We still have that problem. But
Yeah.
I got a few more played that did not have plays yet, so we'll get to see how those are. But
Yes.
yeah, let us know if you want to see anything further because I was thinking for some of these, and maybe I'll just talk about it then. That could do some extra videos possibly. Let us know if you'd
Okay.
like to see anything on any of these games, anything in particular. I wouldn't call myself an expert, so don't look for tips to always win or anything like that. We'll see that by my percentages of wins and losses.
Yes, and kind of the discussion along with these videos is whether or not you're going to lock in your picks or swap out potential games. And I think you were maybe pretty okay with Cascadia there, but the other three all were ones that you felt could switch out. And as of this moment, you actually have switched out two of these, Castles of Burgundy and White Castle. You just don't like the word castle. Cascadia's walking the line there almost, but he is safe, and
For
they
now.
now in their place is Azul and Wingspan, which I'm sure we'll get into a little more of that once we get to those games. But that is a pretty big update right off
Yes.
the bat.
Those are technically flipped around with which
Yeah.
ones they're swapped with, but yes, that is a pretty big update, and we will see if I got some more games of these played because up to this point, kind of one of the reasons I dropped White Castle is I had not played it yet this year,
Yeah.
and I had played Azul some more on Board Game Arena,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, pretty big change.
So speaking of those games, we have the day one set of games that you can choose. You can pick one game for each day. It's a 4 day weekend of different games that you can play tournaments in. And this one you're playing Azul in, but let's start off with the White Castle. And we see that you actually did get one play and one victory.
I'm
Uh,
100%, baby.
100%. So this is a huge mistake to switch away from White Castle. Although that was a two-player game, which it is likely not going to be in Vegas, and you say that it does change quite a bit, and the ways you told me that it changes, I think it would play quite differently at higher player counts. You played this one against me.
Yes,
Doubled my
I
score
finally got
nearly.
Pepper to play it, and he had not played it previously. I guess did you like the game? I
I
guess
like the game.
if you
I
were
like the
going to
game.
Vegas, going back to those four options, where would you put this in your choices?
Going back to these four. This would be maybe about tied with Brass Birmingham. Those ones are just about no chance in heck that I'm going to choose those, but I think Azul would be my pick. Then Terraforming Mars, and then a huge drop to the.
Yeah, but yeah, I got this one played, and I really want to play this one some more. We'll be in August be dropping our top 80 games of all time, so subscribe to see that. And I think this one will likely be making my list. I don't remember did it make it last year. I can't remember when I first played it.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember when I first played it, but I think it'll probably be making my list this year if it did not last year. So I gotta play that one a few more times on Board Game Arena, even though I am switching it out just because I really enjoy it. It's 9 turns. You got to be really efficient with your turns, and yeah, it's a really fun little game.
Yeah, just one of those games where you're like, how did I do all this in 9 turns?
Yes.
You're like, I did nothing. In one of those. As you can see, we added a little feature here, running score total for each game. We have that at the end for total points scored, and I thought, why not do it for each individual game? And that brings us to Brass, where we have a running total of 0 points, because you still haven't played this one.
Yeah, the thing with this one, let me know in the comments below if there's a place I can play this online against people. This one is not on Board Game Arena. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to get this one played, or would have in the futures. And this one's gonna have to be a physical play of it, and it's just a little bit tougher. But got a couple months. I got a couple months to at least get one more play in it, just to freshen myself up, especially probably like to play this with like Zach and Carson possibly, so that I get like a four-player game of it. Because if most of the plays I've had, I think have been at two, which I think this one would also have a pretty big change between 2 and 4 players. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just a lot tougher to get to the table.
And then, ooh, well, two plays for this one in the month of June, which is decent. I mean, it seems like you either have no plays or you have a ton of plays of a game in a month. It's not usual. It's just like a couple plays of this, couple plays of that. But like you said, you try to get a good variety of things.
Yeah, I had a couple that I played a lot of, and then I had tried to play tried to play like 1 or 2, maybe 3 games of some of the other ones that were on Board Game Arena. I think there's still a few that I missed, but yeah, I had to get back to Terraforming Mars. Spoiler, this one is also probably going to be on my top 80 of all time. It has been for years now. It's been very high on my list. I love this game. It's just uh, the one time we've gone in the past, this was one of the games that I played a ring event in, and I just realized then that there are players that play this at a much, much higher level than I do. So I I think I could at least know what I was doing and somewhat compete compared to like if you're looking at like Brass Birmingham. If I somehow made it to the second or third round, if I got Brass Birmingham pulled, I would be much more upset than I would if I got like Terraforming Mars pulled, because then I could at least feel like I have a chance. Um, yeah, 1-1, not too bad, not quite as big a score as my high in January.
Yeah, you drop the average massively. But that's what happens when you have so few plays. It baffles me that we haven't played this in any of the months, February through May. I can't
Yeah,
believe it.
especially on Board Game Arena. I thought maybe I'd get a play in here or there, and yeah, just I don't know. Although February and March, I think were pretty slow in general for
Yeah,
board game plays. So
yeah. And then Azul, this is one of those games that you played a lot this month.
wow,
Maybe the
that's more
most.
more than I thought actually plays.
Yeah,
If I would
34.
have had to guess, I wouldn't. I would have thought maybe like 15 or 20. So I'm surprised I have that many wins of it.
You're about 50-50, 18 wins, 16 losses, a little bit on the positive side there. Although your average score was, I think, the lowest month yet, which, I mean, having so many, maybe they were just freak incidents back in those previous months where you had a super high score and just not enough games to balance it out. Maybe this is kind of your true average, probably a little closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that being my average. But I did also have my highest game by quite a bit,
It's true.
although the lowest game too by a bit. So it's a little mixed, but the high game is like, I guess it's close to some. The first month, January, there it's about twice as high, but
Yeah.
and that's the closest average actually of a month. Somehow I don't know how, but yeah, I'm really loving Azul right now. I'm loving playing it. I actually didn't think this one would be a more wins than losses. I'm actually a little surprised at that because this is one of 2 games that I got into the what is it called? The expert level
Oh,
or
yeah,
rank
the
or whatever. Is that what
elite.
it's called? Elite.
Elite.
Yes, elite level. Even though I'm not an elite player at it, so I got into that range. So I feel like I've been playing a lot more of the people that are also ranked in the elite. A lot of these people, I'll go into like their stats and stuff after I play them sometimes and see like they've got thousands of plays of it. I'm just like, wow, it makes me feel good because I'm like competing sometimes with these people and I'm like, they've seen this game 1,000 times and I maybe seen it 100. I don't think I've even seen it that many times, but getting there.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, almost 2,000. Pepper, you didn't tell me I was so close to 2,000
Oh,
points in this one for the month.
just needed one more good game or a few bad ones. But yeah, over 50 games total this year. Not bad, but um, yeah, try to not hit those lows in Vegas. That's my recommendation. And then we go on to day two with these beautiful games here. You have chosen Cascadia, and I believe that is the first one that we talk about here.
Oof.
The streak is over. You had, what did you have? Three, four, 5 game winning streak, and I guess I don't know the order that your three was the loss, your last game that you played.
The loss was the second to last.
Okay.
So I did have 6 wins in a row, then lost, then won again.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was a very disappointing game. I don't know what happened there at 84, because this one always seems consistently in the 90s. And yeah, it must have just been a whole bad mix. These are all at 2 players, so some of the tiles are taken out. So maybe part of it was a little bit of what tiles ended up coming out. Maybe they just didn't allow me to kind of get the double. I always love getting kind of the double habitat ones, and I feel like that game in particular, I was never feeling like, oh yeah, that's a great tile. It's gonna give me 2 landscapes, and it's a great animal in that spot.
yeah.
But yeah, this one almost to 1,000 total points. I better get there by the end of July, I think. So I'm gonna have to play another 3 games of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
And Michaela was really trying to give us low scores though, because she originally only gave us points for the bonuses that we earned in the landscape. She's like, oh, it was 50 something to 50 something. I'm like, what?
There's no way.
There's no way it could be that low. I'm like, I know
Wow.
it didn't feel great, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah,
So my stats could have been a lot worse.
a lot worse. A lot worse. Yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid set of stats for the year. And then Earth, you got back to. You had a little spur in April, 4 games, and you finally got one more. And who knows if
I
you're going
actually feel
back.
like I got 2 or 3, but well, yeah, I must have only got back to it once. Um,
A decent score, kind of right in the middle there, maybe a little below average, your previous average, but definitely not a disappointing score. And yeah, I guess has this one gotten closer to maybe picking over the year?
well, you can see here I'm 1-4, so
Mhm.
I don't. I felt like I would be have 2 wins here, but maybe not. I'm really liking the game. I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta get this played even more. That's why I'm surprised. I felt like I played it more than just one time because I have been really enjoying the plays that I have had of it, and that one is definitely going to also be in my top 80 of all time. And yeah, I'm at least more comfortable now about because I was originally kind of thinking of this as kind of some of the games we're gonna get to, like the Ark Novas, Great Western Trail, or Brass Birmingham's, where great players are gonna probably stomp me out pretty badly. And I'm not saying they won't, but I feel like I at least know what's going on
Yeah.
enough in this one.
Yeah. Heard it here
And to be
first.
fair, this loss accidentally, 'cause it was similar to the Terraforming Mars. So maybe the Terraforming Mars was a little strange because I went into the um, arena mode, and the time limit you got on things was very, very, very snappy, quick on
Oh,
Terraforming
yeah.
Mars. And on this one, it actually this month is played with the Abundance expansion, which I did not see, and I had no idea how it worked. I'm looking at some of these cards like, what the heck is this? Why is it asking me these things? So
Yeah.
not I don't believe the actual game in Vegas is going to be played with that expansion. So I might have to just remember not to go into arena play if I'm practicing this one.
Throw that surprise everybody in Vegas.
Why don't we get to do this?
And then Raw, no real update here, no plays of Raw. We say the same thing every time. Why does everyone in your group hate this game?
I don't know. I
Like,
put it in the bag of that and one that we're gonna come up to. It's gonna probably be better at a higher player count than just 2, and that's probably the unfortunate reason it hasn't. Because I could have probably gotten Michaela to play it a couple times by now if I thought it played maybe a little better at 2. Um, but maybe I'll have to. It does play at 2, right? No, I don't even remember. Do you need 3?
I'm not
It's been
sure.
a while since I played it now, and I'm trying to think if there's a reason you'd need 3, but.
Yeah.
Um,
Make a Raw duel. Come on.
Raw duel. Come on, Reiner.
And no update for Dune other than that one play back in February.
I should put this one in the bag. Get this one
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
Uh,
Game everyone loves.
They do really like it. The points wise, though, is going to be points to time played is not going to be a good stat on that one.
No, not at all. Ooh, day three.
We get to the hot day, because yeah, we just got done with our Heat series in June, so you can go check out a bunch of playthroughs of Heat. We did a whole 16 races, four kind of championship things over the 4 weeks of June. So if you really like to watch Heat being played, maybe not always well, you can go check out our videos on that. But it is not. I didn't switch from Castle Burgundy to Heat. I switched to Wingspan. Uh, but yeah, this is the hot day. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I think I might be in the talking about it a little bit more. If Heat was in the same day as Cascadia, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there then maybe I would be debating
Yeah.
changing. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's in this day,
I mean,
which
two
makes it
options
very
in one day
very
is
difficult.
fine, but three options, it's just like, come on, spread it out a little bit.
And it's crazy because at the beginning of all of this, I would have definitely said no, 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 never Heat because I'd never won it. But
Yeah.
we'll see if any of that's changed.
Yes, let's see. We're starting off with Cobb, corn on the cob, Castle of Burgundy.
Oh boy, was it this bad?
It was that
Oh boy.
bad. 1-7 in the month. Eighth place, so that's a
I
positive.
actually didn't know I played it that many times. So that is the positive because I was like, yeah, what did I play that like 3 or 4 times? So maybe I just wanted to not think about all
Yeah.
the L's. But I
The
knew
averages.
it was not good. I was gonna say it was like gonna be like 1-3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got the one right, so. Yeah, dropped the average score by 2.6, and there were a good handful of games in there already, so that's not great, but your high isn't your highest, your low isn't your lowest either, so it's
Yeah,
not the
kind of hanging
worst
in there.
for the record really looking like the worst.
That's true. I can't believe how bad I've actually been at this game. I thought I was a little bit better at it, uh, but I'm obviously not.
Probably one of the games that you
Seven
played
and 16.
at higher player counts the most this year as well, and in person with kind
Yeah,
of four-player games, especially early on in the year. I think there were quite a few, so
yeah.
it lowers your odds a good bit.
Yeah, but I don't think I had that many.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're definitely playing at the four because most of these gameplays and just t total are at 2 players.
yeah,
So note that it's not like I'm beating and playing all these like 4 players because people might be thinking, "Wow, this guy is really really good."
yeah,
But these are all at 2 players, so I've got a 50-50 chance most of the time. Most of them are. There are some that are at the 3 or 4 player count, but
yeah,
I would say 90 some percent are 2 player.
yeah. Yes. And then on to Heat. We got 14 games in here. We filmed two just before, two of those 16 games before the month started, and the other 14. And I mean, that may tell you kind of what little spoiler for the tournament. He won one of the 13 games, but we play with the robots, so that could be a second place, third place. All of those would be counted as loss because if you ain't first, you're out. You ain't winning the game. You're not moving on in the tournament. I assume is how they play it. I don't think they play championship mode or anything in Vegas. I assume it's
Right.
just one race. So
I think it's one race, and I think they do have legends in there, but so I think it's whoever finishes the highest.
okay, yep. So yeah,
But yeah, pretty much.
that's his average. Is about third place at this point, which not the best, not the best.
Yeah.
But I guess yeah, of
But
human
I'm
players,
14 plays out of 8 people.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's not too bad. And I
And
mean,
6 is my
between
worst place. I never finish in the bottom 2.
yeah, that's the craziest part. And going up against me, you'll have to go watch all our videos to see where he placed against the other human player, to see if those were technically actually wins. Uh,
Yes, because I think if you go back to last month's update, World Series board game, I believe I said if I win 14 straight, I will change the game to Heat. So we can see there that did not happen. I
he
believe I
was
did actually win the first one.
he was
Was
really
it the first
thinking
one that I
for.
won or the second game?
Let's see. I believe. What did you do? I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been the first.
The
Might have
points to
been.
time ratio on this one is also
Yeah, not,
not a good one.
not
Because,
good.
yeah, having 14 games and only getting 61 points is not ideal. Not
Yeah,
ideal. But
not
I
good.
needed more of those wins.
Yep, for sure, for sure. And then Arnak.
This was one that I meant to get played on Board Game Arena, and I just did not get to it. This was one that, July I will get at least a play.
Yes, that's his promise. And not really much talked about here either. 100 games. He had to rush. I told him you're at 98 right before we did this video earlier. And like, I gotta go get two more games. And you got two more wins.
I
Uh,
did. It helped me out, it looks like.
I was hoping that it would matter, but sadly you had over 50 losses, so you could not take it back and turn it into a winning record. You're about even though, 48 and 52. But it was not really back and forth. It was huge streaks of wins and
It
huge
was
streaks of
streaks. It was
losses.
I could feel it. It was very streaky. I was like I think at one point I did have 9 losses in a row. And then I think I might have like went like after I did get the win back finally, I felt like at that point I went like 8-2 over the next 10 games, and then I think then after that I lost like another like 7 out of 9 or something. I don't know what it was. It was just streakiness. It didn't make any sense. But I was wondering. I'm like, it might end up kind of balancing out. It felt like it was pretty even. So yeah, it's probably about what I would have guessed.
Yeah, and yeah, of those 100, you got your highest score of 114, which I feel like you could maybe do, like maybe up into like nearing 120 here, if you're playing 100 games, but still 114 is a really good score, and 62 is about as low as you'd want to go. I feel like it could definitely have gotten worse, though.
Yes, with that many games, it definitely could have been. And I think that was actually like back-to-back games where I had like 62 and then 64. And I actually won with the 64, which was just
Okay.
shocking to me. I couldn't believe that. And I think the 62 was actually pretty close, if I remember right, too. I could be remembering that wrong, but I think I actually was somewhat in it, which shouldn't be anywhere near winning with a 60 some. And I definitely won't be in Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't think. And yeah, got a lot of points there. I thought this one might make up a lot of points. Uh,
Yes, 8,732 points, of which your winning games were only gaining you 40 more points than your losing games, and your losing games had a few extra than you'd had winning games. So I thought that was like such a close number. I'm like, I'll throw that stat in there. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Overall, out of 120 games total this year, you are 60 and 60. Um, so your next
Who
game is very, very important.
who would have thought it? But yeah, I think I finally got my 100th win via doing this on Board Game Arena. So maybe I'll have to go for 200. I guess if I'm playing 100 times a month. But yeah, I this is one that could do videos on if anyone is interested. I know there's already a lot of Wingspan content out there, but playing that many times makes me anxious to do some sort of video on something relating to it. Granted, it is just the base game, so um, yeah, I think I had some losses too in like the 90s and possibly
Yeah, I
even
think there was
a
one
hundred something. I think I
in
had a
100.
decent amount. There were a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like, and some of them were just like so close. It'd be like 104 to 103, and it's like, how do you lose that? That's not fair.
Yeah, that was actually really out of those last two games that I played. I was really happy with the outcome. It wasn't like even close to my highest score. I think it was like 88, 89 points. But I had the rat bonus card, and I played 7 birds with rats on them for 14 points. And the thing about the rat birds is they have like the stick nests, and I actually, like, towards the end, got the bird that lays 1 egg on every stick nest, and he laid like 10 eggs.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
was like just the perfect combo. And I actually started with both the rat and the predator bird bonus
Okay.
cards. So I'm like, if I could have just kept both bonus
Yeah.
cards, I think there was one that wasn't a predator but 8 rats. So it would have been like almost 30 20 some points as bonus cards if I could have kept both of them.
Oh, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. But yeah, you can get satisfaction even if it's not a record-breaking score. Can we beat that? Can any game top that as we headed to the barren wasteland of day 4?
Gosh, I just can't believe there's so many other great games, and this one just got stuck with Great Western Trail, which I'm not going to touch. And well, just because I think there's players that are really, really good at that. Not to saying there's not good players at the other three. I just I think I'd have to play a ton of Great Western Trail, and
Yeah,
even then, I don't know that I would be good enough. I feel the same way about Brass, Birmingham,
yeah,
and probably Ark Nova, just because it's a heavier game. It's one that I think there's a lot of people that love it and have played it a lot of times, and I have not.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so instead, I'll pick one acquire here that I have
A
not play.
zero.
That one is also in the bag to play with a higher group. So we'll see if that ends up getting played or not. Uh, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm kind of like now I'm just like I should force a play just to see if I even like it or see
Yeah,
if it's something that I'm just not good at because then I can just like I'll just do Splendor or Ark Nova even if I don't think I'm that good at them. I at least can play them, I guess.
yeah, yep,
But
yep. And speaking of Ark Nova, finally a play of it, but you got a loss of it. Uh,
yeah, that's not surprising.
it's a
I
play.
kind of expected to lose, but I just wanted to get refamiliarize myself with the game.
Yep.
And I thought I was doing halfway decent. I think somehow the game tracks it via points, so it's not like really 61 points because this one's kind of like Rajas of the Ganges if you've ever played that,
Mm.
where you have these two tracks intersecting, and instead of like showing a track, they just have your score going up to like 100, and once you reach 100, that kind of is where they are intersected.
Yeah.
Um, so based on that, I don't think I did amazingly well, but I felt like I was kind of hanging in there for a bit, and then
Yeah.
the person I played against kind of just ran away with it a little bit. So
Mm.
I'll probably play that one another time or two.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one that kind of just the slow burn for me as just a game in general that I've kind of liked more and more every play. We'll see. But if I do play it a few more times in July, it might sneak onto my top 80 list. So you'll
No.
have to go check that out. You'll only have to watch the first couple of videos because I'm guessing it's not hopping into like the top 50.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You
You might have to
never
watch them
know.
all if it's not in the first one.
That's true. That's true. And then no plays of the official Great Western Trail, but as you can see in May last month, we did have one of the El Paso spin-off. And that's
Y-
all.
Yeah, this is another one that I did not get to on Board Game Arena. So this one, Arnak, got to get to them in July just to play them. Then probably get another play of each of them in August and maybe September leading up to the
Mm.
competition.
Yep. And then, whoa! This day is seeing some life here. 3 whole plays of Splendor and 2 wins.
And these are at 3 players
Yeah.
apiece. And this is a game I don't win. So it's got me. This is what's really got me tempted about. I got to play Acquire and see because I think this is kind of the last thing I may change at this point. I might change just to Splendor. I'm shocked that I won those two, especially considering one of them was on the arena mode, and
Yeah.
that one also was playing with an expansion that I was not aware of. And I mean, I should be checking these before I go into this. And I had no idea how it was played, and I ended up winning.
Yeah.
Because you need to apparently qualify for one of the things, and someone triggered the end game by qualifying for it. I think it's like the city's expansion or something. And I just happened to, like on my one extra turn, also qualify for it, and then I won via tiebreaker.
hmm Yeah, I was confused. I was looking at it as like it's they have 1 point, they have 1 point. I'm like, what's going on here? So I went into the replay and I'm like, oh, they like instant win type of shenanigans here with that cities thing. So it's down as 14 points since that is what you have. I think you have to get to 15. But I guess I didn't know exactly how to put that down as a score. But yeah,
Yeah.
still, like you're right there in all your games, even your loss, you had 14 points, which is right at that cutoff. But I think the other player had like 20 points. So
Mhm.
playing against someone who had some really good play there, and I'm guessing that's probably might be what you see in Vegas. But I feel like the it's easier to climb up the ladder in Splendor than it is some of these others.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if I decide to change my mind, this one might have to get some uh Azul, at least Azul level of play
Oh, yep, yep.
on here.
Another one not so great.
Maybe not Wingspan, but we will see.
That'd be asking a bit much.
But
And then
yeah,
that is all of those games. So we have some stats here. We had to move the games over that you did. So on the left, you see the games that you have chosen. You are 95 and 86 overall, with 68 wins added this month and 69 nice losses there. And of the games you are currently not playing, 6 wins added and 24 losses. So I think you've chosen the right games, certainly, where it's more 50-50 versus those games where it is not even close.
yeah, I would not have thought that it was that far off. Granted, a good number of those are Heat,
Yeah,
which is a little bit different.
yeah,
Where some of those, if I just lost to the Legends,
yeah.
might be different in Vegas, might have been wins potentially in that setting, but still losses. It's still losses,
Well,
so got to take those. But yeah, overall, I got to just over 20,000 points. I was wondering how many points I got. I was like, I got to be raking in all those points.
yeah,
I actually
13.
thought it would be more. I thought it might have a chance to get to like 25,000, but
Oh, yeah,
yeah, some of these decent amount of the plays, I guess, that we did do uh, were kind of some of those lower scoring
yeah, yeah,
games. Like the Heat don't get many points, and Splendor wasn't many points. But then, Earth and
yeah.
uh,
Uh,
Castle Burgundy are a lot of points. Wingspan isn't too bad.
yeah, it's a good chunk there. So yeah, good progression on the points, not so much on the win-loss ratio. It's about neck and neck, I think this most of the time. But now the losses are probably because of heat being a huge factor there. I'm sure there's maybe like 6 to 10 games I could maybe sway the other way there, but it is what it is. You're gonna have to make it up in the following months.
What is our goal this next month, Pepper?
I mean, well, I feel like this is a wild one. Like it can't be as big as this.
Yeah, I feel like this is the best I could do because there were a couple days I didn't do much, but then there were some days where I was playing like a lot of games of especially Wingspan and Azul. So I feel like this is about peak. Could maybe press a little bit more, but I
Yeah.
don't know. What would you say, Pepper? How many games did you say I had for the month?
So I guess what is this? So 93 and 74.
167.
Yeah, I would say maybe try to get maybe a third of that, I guess. Like half of it is still that's asking a lot. So maybe get at least a third of those amounts of plays.
Then I'm gonna need all dubs just to make up my
That's
difference
true.
here.
That's true. Get the dubs and negatives even.
I
That's
gotta play
the
you in
goal.
some more White Castle, Pepper.
That's true. Maybe by then I might not be getting my score doubled.
Maybe. But yeah, if you made it this far, we really appreciate it. You can give us a thumbs up, leave us some comments on these games. What games would you be picking to play if you were going, or if you are going, which games are you playing? Or have you switched at all? Would you uh, recommend I should switch to something or something else? Or should I switch back to Castle Burgundy? Should I switch back to what's the other one?
White
Now I'm
Castle.
totally blanking. White Castle. I was looking at the screen and all I was seeing was heat. All I'm seeing is heat. Uh, yeah, let us know. Subscribe for our following months and possible videos. We'll see if we do any other special content. Uh, but yeah, subscribe if you want to see those. But otherwise, as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.